So today, we're going to start with the process of how you reserve meeting space, conference rooms, offices for the day. We're going to talk about the production requirements for the open offices as well as the private office space. And then we're going to explain the selection process and how that's actually going to be handled. These are the two conference rooms. This is a large meeting room, and these are the 4 office for the days. Everybody remembers that. So these 3 rooms are primarily designed for agents to have meetings, meet with your clients. We'll have, just like in the meeting rooms downstairs, we'll have TV mounted on the wall, plug in your iPad, laptop, go through your presentation. These 4 office for the days are exactly what they are. It's a space for agents to use to do work, private space. They can be reserved by anyone. An agent without desk space, agents with desk space. We're going to show you how that will be reserved. And I'm going to email all of y'all copies of these slides today, so you'll have all this information. How do you place your reservation? There's a lot of advancements since Post-it notes, believe it or not, and even dry erase boards. Right now, if you want to reserve an office, does anybody call the receptionist? Okay. Or you ask Laura, and then someone, most likely Laura or yourself, will write on the door, Reynolds is using this space from 12 to 1 today. And you have no idea of knowing if Reynolds is even in that room unless you peek around the window to see who's in there. So there are lots of meeting room applications. One of my favorite ones is called Get a Room. Hey, get a room! Sorry, I thought that'd be funnier. But they're all cloud-based, and they work off of a tablet and touch screen. So has anybody ever seen one of these in an office building before? It's pretty cool. Some of them have color, so you can just look down the hall and see if it's available. You can make a reservation in person. Most of them are iPads now. You just tap on the screen, place a reservation, and it'll say this room is booked from this time to this time. And you can also log into a calendar to see which rooms are available. So if you have clients coming in on Friday and you're going to meet with them from 2 to 4, you can reserve a space and not worry about it. But I'd like to show you a short video of how this works.
You have a lot on your plate. Mails to be sent, expenses to be tracked, presentations to be prepared, and all those people to call. Scheduling a meeting doesn't have to add to your ordeal. Yatrooms makes booking a room as easy as opening your email. Pick a date and a room. Give your meeting a title, and that could be it for a quick booking, but Yatrooms can do more. Assign equipment, catering, and other resources. Invite your colleagues and even guests. Set the meeting to repeat over days, weeks, or months. All done. Yatroom notifies the participants about their meeting. If you use Outlook, sync your calendar with our Outlook add-in. If you're in a hurry, you can book a room right from its door with Yatroom's Door, our tablet app, and you can see rooms availability in real time. With Yatrooms, you can have as many rooms as you need in just as many buildings in cities all across the world. And with our pay-as-you-go pricing model, you only pay for the meetings you hold. So your Yatrooms account grows as your business grows.
This is just a technology to use to reserve a space when you need it. And so that you know you'll have it when you arrive. Does anybody use invitations for appointments? You invite people to a meeting? Yeah, that's becoming a lot more common now. So if I want to schedule an appointment with someone, I can send them an invitation and they can check if they're available or not. So the whole point is we have lots of rooms for you to meet in and work out of at the office, and you shouldn't have to know if they're available only when you arrive at the office. If you know you want to use a space, every Thursday or Friday from this time, you can make a reservation. So it's designed to work around y'all's schedule so that you can be more flexible. Okay? So let's talk about office space. Remember, the orange are all the open work areas. Some of these are semi-private spaces. Some of them are more benching spaces. And to be able to have your own permanent space in the orange area, you have to have an average GCI of $50,000. For the private offices, and there's 11 of these, you have to have a GCI of $100,000. Okay? How is this calculated? We take a 2-year average. So we use your previous 24 months production from the last month prior to moving. We're not taking production from December 31, 2015. Let me show you an example. The example is, if we're scheduled to move in on October the 20th, then we'll use your production, your closed production from September 30th, 2016, and go back 24 months. Very similar to those of you on the Plan 1 commission schedule. That's a rolling average, right?
Yeah.
So if the contractor says you'll be able to move in on the 20th, whatever the last month is that's closed out, we'll do a 24-month look back at production. So an example is, that would be on the 30th. So the previous 12 months, your GCI was $65,000. And then 13 to 24 months, your GCI may have been $45,000. When you add those up and divide it by 2, your average GCI is $55,000. For the private office space, same example. If you closed $125,000 in GCI the past 12 months, and from 12 to 24, you had a GCI of $88,000. Your 2-year average would be $106,500. Does everybody understands how that's calculated? Okay. So it's a 24-month look back to give an average, because we've been in real estate long enough. We know that you don't earn exactly the same every single year. There are fluctuations. So an average helps adjust for that. Who gets to go first? Starting at the top, the agent with the highest GCI, and we'll continue in descending order. So, points to remember. We're not calculating any commissions today. You have 8 to 9 months of production left. And what are we hitting right now? The spring season. That's when, December, January, typically very slow. So you got 8 to 9 months left. You do have to maintain your average to keep your office. And for the private office space, if you do not meet that production, you have a 12-month grace period. So if you are at 100,000, and when you do the annual review and your production is now average at 90,000, you have 12 months to get your average up, or you have to move into another space. If you don't meet those requirements, as soon as you do, you get to select an office. So if by the time we move in, an agent doesn't meet one of those requirements, as soon as you do, we'll look at your average monthly, and as soon as you meet that requirement, that will be your move-in date, and that will be your annual review date. So I know there's some agents here that haven't been here a year, haven't been here 2 years. They don't have a 2-year average. We'll count their production based on how long they've been here to calculate their average. And as soon as you meet that requirement, then you will have earned an office. I know this is a lot. We've tried to take 3 weeks to explain as much of this process as we can, and I know probably after today a lot of you will have some questions. So I'm going to email all these slides to you with this information on it. And I love to hear your feedback. We don't, we hope we haven't overlooked something, but y'all's feedback is important to us in playing in this new space. So if you have more questions or comments, you can come to me directly, talk to Alan, or you can drop something in the box anonymously. Every business meeting, if there are questions in that box about the new office, we'll address them. But if you'd rather that be addressed in private, please, my office is always open. So don't hesitate to do that. We're here to help y'all and help you understand how to use the new office.